Hello, namaste, and welcome to your quick yoga practice with me, Melissa. Today we're going to be working on balances. So we're going to begin with some basic beginner balances. So begin in mountain pose, tadasana. This is your basic standing posture. This is the foundation of all standing poses. You want the feet apart, toes spread. So really muscularly spread your toes. Feel the four corners of the feet in the floor. You want a lifted feeling and a stacked feeling. So you want the knees right over the ankles, the hips right over the knees, shoulders right over the hips, and ears right over the shoulders. We're not very rigid, you're not arching the back, it's just a nice, relaxed, lifted pose. So beginning in mountain pose, we're gonna come back to this in between each pose. So we're gonna begin with a simple knee lift. So pick up one knee and just hold it here. It's very basic. The higher up you go, the more you're going to work the quadricep, the deeper into your abs you can go. But you can also keep the toe on the ground. You're still going to be working the same muscles. So maybe build up to it, lifting it higher and higher each day. And in balances, deep breathing is really crucial, as is picking a still spot to focus on, called your drishti. And that'll really keep you balanced. So back through mountain pose, let's try the other side. And another thing is you don't want to lock the standing leg. Don't keep this leg rigid. Let it be a little bit flexible, and that'll prevent you from falling over. And then lower down. So back through mountain pose each time. This next one that we're going to do is tree pose, Vikrasana. So it's very similar, but there's a hip stretch in there. So leaning to one side without locking that standing leg, we're going to pick up the opposite leg and turn it out from the hips. So I want you to make sure, really pay attention that you're not turning like this from the knee or from the ankle. It all comes from the hip. So if you can only turn it out a little bit, that's fine. But turn it out as much as possible, and then place the foot anywhere alongside the opposite leg, as long as it's not right on the knee. And then you have your choice of arm positions. You can be here at the Anjali Mudra. You can have the arms up. You can have them apart. If you need something else in order to help you balance, that's fine too. But just breathe here, stay solid through the core, having a tight core, but not so tight that it restricts your breathing. That's the challenge. Having a tight core, though, will really help you remain balanced. And then we're going to lower down. So other side. Back through tadasana. Weight is evenly distributed between both legs here. So the other side, we pick up the knee, turn out from the hip, place the foot anywhere alongside the opposite leg, as long as it's not right on the knee, and then use your arms however you need to in order to balance. And one thing to remember is try to lengthen the spine upward, grow taller while you're in this pose. This is tree pose, and when a tree grows, it puts down roots at the same time that its branches lift up. So think about rooting into the floor and lifting taller through the pose. And lower down. Now our last pose is going to be dancer's pose, not a Rajasana. It translates as Lord of the Dance pose. So I'm going to turn to the side and show you a couple variations. Remember, this is the beginner's balancing section. So if you are not there yet to get into the full pose, that's fine. We're going to work up to it. So from mountain pose, I'm going to pick up my right foot behind me. I don't know what foot we're on. And I want you to hold on to the outside of the foot. A lot of times you'll hear it hold on to the inside of the foot. That's fine too, but it also causes the knee to splay out to the side here, and we really don't want that. We want the knees moving in one plane. So from here, we hold on to the outside of the foot and lift the arm. And now you can either stay here. This is a very challenging balance. It's an excellent stretch for the quadricep. Or you can come into a deeper version of the pose, which again, don't lock the standing leg, would be to lean forward here. And you could either stay here, again, don't lock your standing leg, or you can flex that foot and push it away. Can't do the pose. You can push that foot away, coming into the full version of the pose, keeping the knees together. You should feel a good stretch in the chest. We're doing a standing back bend, and if you need to, you can even hold on to a wall here. Good, so let's try that on the other side. Remember, this is just giving you the basics. If you have time to stay longer in the pose, please feel free to do so. So the other side, we pick up the foot behind us, holding on to the outside of the foot, lifting the arm. So again, you can either stay here, this is variation 1, or you can come into variation 2. Again, keep that knee soft. We lean forward here, and this is very challenging. As you can see, I'm about to fall over. And then if you want, you can come into the full version of the pose, which is to flex the foot and push it away, coming into a beautiful dancer's pose. And then to come up, the knees come together. Don't let that knee move out to the side. And then lower down. And take some time just to center yourself back into tadasana or mountain pose, feet spread, weight evenly distributed. Just breathe deeply. And thank you so much for joining me for this beginner balancing series. Namaste.